It is the sound of Lyrical Strangers here on Curveballs on Phoenix FM, and that track was entitled A Brand New Day. And on this brand new-ish show, I'm now joined by Mark from Lyrical Strangers. Hello, Mark!
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, my man?
Very good, thanks. Glad to be in Essex this evening.
It is good to have you here.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
You were last with us. Something like it was. I think it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Not that you've aged since then.
Oh, thank you.
When you were basically a solo artist.
Yeah,
I think you had a solo album.
Yeah, that's right.
Reckless
Reckless Caution. That's right. Yeah.
And which we heard various tracks from. A lot of which were a bit of a different step away from that track.
Yes.
So tell us about Lyrical Strangers. Who is in Lyrical Strangers with you?
So Lyrical Strangers is myself and a multi-instrumentalist and music producer called Phil Chamberlain. Extremely talented guy. And the project started last February 2019, when Phil just had a concept that he wanted to work with a vocalist to write and record some music, but we didn't know each other beforehand. But I sort of, heard that he was looking for a vocalist, so got in touch with him, and it was pretty immediate. We started recording some music in March 2019, and by the end of April 2019, we had a real heavy body of work, and I guess people have worked it out now, but we have an album which will be coming out on March the 30th. So it's available now for pre-order, and it'll be coming out on March the 30th. But the album was recorded last year, March and April last year it was recorded. So we've kind of just been sitting on it for a while, and now it's out. And the track that you've just heard is our first single, which is for immediate release, so you can find it now on all of the main digital outlets, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music. It's out, and the music video for it has been made public as of about a few minutes ago, so people can view the music video on YouTube as well. And the album is set for pre-release, so we're really excited to put it out. But it's just myself and Phil.
Yes,
so really enjoyable.
Playing all those instruments at once.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, he really is a really talented musician. I'm not just saying that, he's such a talented musician. So it was really a pleasure to work with him and record and write these tracks.
Well, now we're going to give him a chance to show off even more, and you, of course, because we're going to hear another track from the album. So tell us about this track we're going to hear next.
So the track is called Do You Know Who You Are? And again, it would have been recorded nearly a year ago now, and the track was written about a child growing up, being born into the world, and all the pressures that a human being may face whilst growing up, such as peer pressure and the trials and tribulations of life. And it's one of my favourite tracks. I really like the track, so I really hope that everyone enjoys it.
Here it is. Lyrical Strangers, do you know who you are here on Curveballs on Phoenix FM? Mark from Lyrical Strangers joins me in the studio, and we were talking during that song about the recording process by which you made the album, and it actually made it really quick in the end, with you just casually popping over to that studio you own.
Basically, yeah. So Phil came up with the idea to form this duo in February 2019, but there was no vision to form a band as such. It was just kind of, let's knock about together and record some music. So he has a studio, in Cardiff in Wales. I've got a studio in St Albans in England. And really just between the two, we were just recording and just putting some ideas down. And I think it was once we probably had about 10 or 11 songs recorded, I was sort of pushing the idea of an album. And I think Phil, being the modest person he is, he was a bit like, shall we do it? And I was like, no, let's do it. Let's put this music out, because I felt it was really good. But from having the idea in February 2019, we just recorded non-stop from March to April 2019. So really, by the end of April, we had all of this music. So it was a really quick process, recording all hours of the day and night, and I guess we just are fortunate enough to both have studios, so we didn't really have to worry about booking out studio time and all the rest of it. So yeah, it was a really quick process, and it's funny because talking about it now, I'm trying to think right back to when we recorded it. But yeah, it was fun, and yeah, it continues to be fun because I'm always recording and writing music, and as is Phil. So we'll see what the future brings. But yeah, and now we have an album, Brand New Day.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Not a lot of bands can brag having a full album kind of like less than a year after forming.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But again, it wasn't. It was really weird because there was never a vision to sort of form a band. It's really weird. I think that the music projects I've been involved in the past have all tended to happen organically. And I guess the only difference with this particular project or album was that myself and Phil didn't actually know each other before, which is quite different to my collaborations in the past. I've always been friends with people, and we've just sort of ended up knocking about and doing music together. But yeah, it was literally just me kind of answering the call when I heard that Phil was looking for a vocalist, and we sort of bonded over music. And yeah, just really recorded. There was so many ideas. I'm sure that after first speaking to Phil, I'm sure we must have had about 1 or 2 tracks recorded within a week. Literally within a week. I think the track Getaway, which is from the album, was the first track we recorded. I can't remember after that. But yeah, we really had a steady body of tracks very, very, very quickly, which yeah, I was really happy about. Yeah, really.
Indeed,
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Not a lot of acts can boast that kind of level of productivity.
Yeah. To be honest, it was even quick for me. It's the first full-length album I'd say that I've sort of recorded in my studio, because I've had the studio for probably about 1.5 to 2 years, and I mean, even since this project has come out, there's kind of other stuff that's been done that will come out when it comes out. But yeah, it was a really, really quick process, and yeah, really happy with it. So and there's more music to be released at some point, but just not yet. So
No, fair enough. fair enough. Try and like tame yourself.
Calm the
tame
pace,
tiger for a bit.
slow the pace down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mark, before we say anything else, where does the name Lyrical Strangers come from?
Lyrical Strangers, right. So, after we recorded the body of music we recorded, myself and Phil were throwing some names to and from each other, and none of it seemed to sort of click. I was giving names to Phil was giving names to me, and I don't think any of us were really feeling it. And then Bella Rose, who actually features on the album on a track called Burlesque, having some drinks. We were having some drinks way after the album was done, and we were talking about the concept about myself and Phil not knowing each other, and how it's all come together really organically and really good and all the rest of it. And she came up with the name Lyrical Strangers. I was immediately jealous because I was just like, I have thought of so many names that I have sent across to Phil and vice versa, and none of us, it just didn't click. And I thought to myself, I really hate her a little bit, because that name really does it. And I had a good feeling that Phil was really going to love it. So I messaged Phil and I was like, what about the name Lyrical Strangers? Immediately he was like, love it. So that was that. And then actually further on to that, it was like there was a conversation of okay, so the band are called Lyrical Strangers. Now we need to think of an album name. So again, Bella Rose, she said to me, well, no, Brand New Day. I really like that track. Why don't you just call the album Brand New Day? And I was just like, I hate her a little bit. Right, I'm gonna message Phil, and Phil's like, perfect. And I was Yeah, but so that's how it all came about. So
there we go.
yeah,
Well done, Bella.
yeah, so I'm really happy with the names, but secretly a little bit jealous that I didn't think of the names. But hey, there you go.
Oh well, the next track that we're going to play is not the track that features Bella Rose.
No,
which is maybe hardly surprising given that story.
Yeah.
Tell us about the journey.
The journey. So the journey is all about me people watching. So whilst I was travelling to and from St Albans, that was a lot of the time I would take out to write the tracks. So I'd be writing tracks on the train and what have you, and taking in the atmosphere and the people around me to write these tracks. So I just thought to myself, I'm gonna write a track about the journey that I was on. So I was, it was in the early morning, I remember, and I was sort of watching people. And I guess generally in the morning, people are a bit sort of, everyone's like rushing and probably not in the best of moods and stuff. Everyone's glued to and everyone's glued to their phones and stuff. So I literally wrote the track about the journey. It was early in the morning, and I really wrote the track about the journey, and it was a bit of a narration of the journey, if that makes sense. And I remember at the time, sorry I'm babbling on now, but at the time of writing a lot of this music, I was listening to a lot of Soul to Soul, and I think this was me trying to take on like Jazzy B's vocal influence with this track.
Here it is.